people, I'm Ginny Metheral and I'm a fourth generation witch. Today I want to take you to somewhere truly magical, which is the ancient land of Dartmoor, where I live round the corner from. It is here that the oldest people in the world settled and made it their home. It is a place where the veil between the land, the legend and energy is thin. Before I take you with me, I just want to discuss very quickly what ley lines actually are. Think of them as arteries of energy that cross the land. Ley lines tend to flow above the land and come down and touch the land at high points, such as St. Michael's Mount. You can see it's a wonderful hill mount here. Along these energy lines, you will find evidence of standing stones, stone rows, stone circles, huge temples, as well as sacred churches, which were built over these sacred sites. And they are built there because there is a lot of energy that our forebears used. Now, the debate over ley lines is what they were actually used for. I know what I use them for and what other spirits and deities, for example, might use them for. However, I don't know what our forebears used them for. So I like to go and investigate each individual stone circle and see what I can find. And this is what we were doing on Dartmoor, my husband, Mr. Metheral, and I. Of course, modern scientists might raise their eyebrows at this, but witches such as me know that you have to listen to the land and you can't tell it with measurements or meters or anything along those lines. You just can tell it with what you feel. However, there is one way you can sort of measure, I suppose, the length or the strength of a ley line, and that is through dowsing rods. Dowsing rods are these simple metal L-shaped pieces of equipment. I tend to use dowsing rods made of brass and they're metal and L-shaped, and so I'll hold them and dowse like this. So I'll say, please show me a yes. And my dowsing rods slowly, oh gosh, look, they're going quite fast. They will come together. And then if I straighten them up again, I will say, please show me a no. And my dowsing rods, you can see they do this waggle. It's, yeah, that's my particular no. Everybody's yes or no may be different, but that's mine. Now, Mr. Metheral is particularly good at dowsing, and so I took him to these sites in order so that he can tell me exactly where and when the energy lines flow. And so we went to a site called Hingston Hill, and Hingston Hill is an ancient burial circle, I believe. Hingston Hill is a stone row leading up to a stone circle. It is roughly directions northeast to southwest, and it is on a saddle on Hingston Hill. You can see quite far. It's got great visibility from varying places, especially from Cuckoo Rock, which is a rock which I think they used to view the ceremonies on Hingston Hill in our olden times, as well as using the nearby Coombs Head Tor to view it from. Now, our forebears were perfectly sensible people. They knew that there was energy lines moving through here and that they placed these particular stones with serious intent. The stones themselves are all sorts of different sizes. I presume it was they just used the stones that were around. And maybe it is like a needle on a record player. It's picking up the vibrations of the earth energy lines in the larger stones to create a power system leading up to the stone circle. We don't know. We really don't. This is something that I would dearly love to know more about. I don't at the moment. I will get there when I have time to investigate this. Whatever these stones were raised for, it is a subtle feeling of energy that you get. It comes in if you touch the stones. I can feel a bit sort of electrical tingling going on. There are so many stories of these stones moving down the hill to have a drink, for example, on Beltane or Samhain. Not that they necessarily did that, but I think there is a lot of witchcraft involved in these stones. This particular site on Hingston Hill has a lot of dips in them. And these sort of dips, which possibly fire pits, I mean, I don't think they were fire pits. I think they were possibly sacrifice pits for the animals or to capture the blood and things like that, but they've got huge amounts of energy in them. You can see at the point of the dip, Mr. Metheral's rods will cross quite violently as he's picking up on the energy lines going through them. The energy line itself is long. I mean, it passes straight through the circle and out through the other ends of the stones. Yet the stone row has two terminals. It's got an eastern and a western terminal with two larger stones, and then the other row forming between them. And what these were for, we don't know. The row does mark the exact centre of the alignment of the ley line. And so as we cross these lines, you can see it. Here, I personally think that this was some form of funereal site. There is a cairn next to it, which is a burial cairn. There is an enclosure, which is a holding pen rather than a pasture land enclosure. And so I think that they were possibly sacrificing animals and burying them with their loved ones at this site, and in order to send their bodies over to spirit, they would use these ley lines, because ley lines are energy lines and it's where spirits travel along. Think of them as ancient highways. Oh, modern highways even. I mean, it's not like the spirits don't stop doing that now. If you're interested in ley lines, you can buy certain books on it. One that I particularly like is The Ley Hunter's Companion, which has got ley line maps in it, which you can follow along. They are pretty accurate, actually. The ones that I've investigated using The Ley Hunter's Companion have been pretty good. So there is that. However, they are difficult. It is difficult to follow. Get yourself some dowsing rods. You can use a pendulum, but dowsing rods give you the physical spot where those ley lines can start and end. I mean, sometimes ley lines are a bit wishy-washy. Think of them as like a stream of water. Sometimes the stream's edges, if it overflows, is where is the edge of the stream? It just sort of peters out. It's a bit like a ley line. Now, Dartmoor does have a lot of ley lines on it. I think it's something about the height of the moor there and everything else being so low around it that it naturally pulls in the energy lines from the land around it. It is a hub of ley lines, a bit like Stonehenge. Stonehenge is a fascinating place to do ley lines, although the ley lines there, interestingly, are not as strong as I believe that they used to be. I think they've lost that pulse because ley lines, like rivers, ebb and flow. They might be stronger at one point and then they might dry up. As the world changes, so do ley lines. And you can see how ley lines ebb and flow by using dowsing rods. Now, there are two stone circles up on Dartmoor quite close to each other, grey weathers they're called. One of them still has huge amounts of energetic ley line activity in it, and the other one is almost empty. I mean, I can feel a tiny bit of energy going through it, but not much more than you would feel on an everyday walking across just, standard land. So it is interesting that they can change. It is my personal belief that the Hingston Stone Circle and Row are all really about burial. I think that they must have processed them into the stone circle to create the ritual that then sent them on to the afterlife and then took them to the cairn, the burial mound, and sacrificed their animals. It could have been watched from this very high vantage point just beyond it, which would have been a brilliant place. I mean, this looks man-made to me, but who's to say? I'm no archaeologist. The energy lines that are passing through it are very strong. They really hum and zing through your body. And so maybe they needed that strength of energy to pass the spirits on. That's my opinion. I'm very much open to everybody else's opinion. And so if you've got one, let me know. If you want to learn more about ley lines or anything else, why not come and join me in my coven meetings or on a witchcraft course? Please join me at ginnymetheral.co.uk. You can subscribe there for a witchcraft course, to be an online coven, or simply just to support me on that channel. There is plenty of videos and extra content there for you, should you wish to just be a general supporter, so I can make these videos for you. Otherwise, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.